Richmond, man, when you look at Richmond, by you walking outside, what comes to mind? You know, what translate when you look at these views right here?
Well, right off the top, thank you for having me
Yes, sir.
today. But as I look to my left there to the Social Security building, one thing that comes to mind is that I not only have the hard hat, but also the shovel, the ceremonial shovel my father used to help break ground to bring that building.
Absolutely.
And bringing that building.
So the Social Security, that's that burgundy building, right? That brown building.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So that's not only economic development,
Yes,
but
sir.
it provides a service that we in an aging community need. Social Security. So being jeopardized today by our present administration, but more importantly, what it also brought was opportunity for workforce development and jobs.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot of what I talk about, that jobs are what we need. It's great to have parks, to be able to kick a ball, catch a ball, or swing a bat.
Yes.
But what we need is youth in this community. We need jobs. What we need is folks 18 to 35. We need jobs.
Now, when you talk about jobs, I want to stop right here for a minute. When we talk about jobs, so this is downtown McDonald.
Yeah.
Downtown Richmond, right?
Yeah.
So you think about downtown Richmond. When you stand right here, tell me, when you stand right here, what do you see up and down this street when you stand here?
As to what I know and what it used to be, it's a ghost town. It's about what dreams used to be, but what nightmares are of not having an opportunity for growth and development, for not having an opportunity to really socially respond and meet the needs of the people that are here in this community, specifically African Americans. 17.5% is where we are today. We used to be 50% when I was 9 years old. And it continued to drive down and down and down, not because black folks didn't care, but folks were not caring about us. And so what we have here, people say it was a crime. It wasn't crime. It was about not having jobs. If you didn't have a job to put food on your table, to buy gas, to have milk and eggs, then you can't even pay rent.
Wow. So I want to ask a question concerning, because we do a lot of mentoring with the youth, right?
Yeah.
And we deal with the youth and the parents. And the parents are concerned that their youth don't have really the sports. I'm talking about men of color. You know what I mean? Had the sports. I mean, there used to be a lot of baseball fields out here. I'm seeing this big old lot right here closed down.
Yeah.
I mean, what is really going to take for that debate to give them more opportunities to provide the resources they need? It's just from growing up and becoming young adults.
Well, one thing is when we had those programs, it wasn't just that you could catch the ball.
Right.
Or that you could play for Coach Todell for the Richmond Falcons, or Coach Rydell for Fourth and Cutting.
Coach Rydell, I remember Rydell.
It wasn't about that. It was the mentorship that they provided to give kids an opportunity that could be more than what you could be on that field, that you could have an opportunity to work and be a coach, or to be in education, or like Coach Todell or Coach Rydell, they worked in construction. They worked as they owned their own businesses. And that's what's encouraging. That's what brings inspiration.
We love it. Let's keep on walking, man, because this is great, you know, and I think it's very noteworthy for you to really just follow the steps of the path of your mom and dad, right? So in brief, why you chose to follow mom and dad?
I don't know if it was about following mom and dad.
Okay.
Because that is what they did.
Right.
My dad was mayor here and city council person from 1969 to 1975.
Yes.
But before that, he was in civil rights. He worked along Martin Luther King and brought Martin Luther King here to the city of Richmond at East Hill United Methodist Church. My mom was a public health nurse, but she started as a nurse that went door to door checking on folks and making sure they were okay, and I used to ride with her. And what that did to me was showing about caring. What that did to me is my father being a pastor was listening to folks and meeting where they are, and then riding, in fact, sometimes to San Quentin, because we had parishioners, families whose kids were there. Going to Santa Rita, sitting in the car, waiting for my father to come out, but understanding he was there to support the families. Okay. So when I talk about what I'm doing today, it's empathetic leadership. It's about caring, it's about being there, and stepping up and meeting people where they are.
So right now, We are in the heart of the Iron Triangle of Richmond. So when people hear that word Iron Triangle, what resonates with you about the Iron Triangle of Richmond? What does this signify?
The jobs we had when we had the railroads here. The jobs we had when we had the Ford building, when we had the steel company here. The jobs we had when we had Safeway here. The opportunity for growth, the opportunity for people to work as postal workers. The folks I used to see to deliver mail in my house were black folks. The folks that worked in the hospitals at Brookside and Richmond Hospital were black folks. But when the Richmond Hospital went away, when steel went away, Ford building closed and auto plants closed, and they moved to where? To Fremont, to the Central Valley. So did our opportunities to not just, thrive here. We only had the opportunities to survive. And that has been the story of our lives here in this community. And this is the thing. It's not just about people of color, but it's about all people in this community. We're not thriving, we're just barely surviving. Because most of us work outside the city of Richmond.
Absolutely. And when you talk about, when we look at these buildings, right, we got a lot of empty buildings out here. And they just sitting with all these empty buildings up and down McDonald, all throughout Richmond. You coming in as a mayor, just say you are elected, you chose about our people to become mayor. How would you use all these abandoned buildings for the people who don't have anything, especially for small businesses?
First and foremost is go speak to the landowners. Ask them why you don't have business here. Ask them about the permitting process. Ask them what they need me to do, working with the city council and the staff to enable this to be a base which no longer is just sitting here, but is active. But also what's important, you have responsible developers, you have environmentalists to make sure that health concerns are up to par here, but you bring in the community and say, not just like Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid's here, but asking them what they need. What are the resources they need in this community? Because right now they don't have them. The other thing is to ensure people can be safe in the community, you have to not only protect them, you have to respect them in order for them to feel safe here day in and day out.
Okay, that's a great cut. So me and Patrick, right, so and the rest of our team, 100 Years Enterprise, we do a lot of mentor program. And so I want you to chime in because we always had these discussions about us, how can the city council or the mayor's department of the city of Richmond help organizations like 100 Years Enterprise to do the work that we do?
First, you have to come to where you are. You shouldn't have to go to city council every Tuesday or every other Tuesday to meet them. Your representative, and I know that they do that with Representative Brown. They come to where you are. They speak to you, but they need more than just Representative Brown. They need other city council members who represent the other districts that are next door or on the outskirts. They need to come here. They need to see how people live. They need to see where they work and understand the difference between the South Side and Carriage Hills, the difference between South Side, 23rd, San Pablo, or even the Annex. If you can't come here, reading on what you see on paper doesn't give you a really realistic perspective on how people eat, work, live, and want to play. And that's what's real. I'm here, and I have no fear being here, because this is where I was born and raised.
So just to add something to that, I just want to add something to that in regards to your campaign. I'm looking at a lot of strong candidates in there, and I'm also seeing, are you guys willing to work? Because the lady asked a question. It was a great question she asked, and we all answered it. She was asking in regards to, are we even whoever get elected, say yourself get elected, are you able to walk across the aisle, work across the aisles, and work with all those candidates to make sure that Richmond gets the best that it can from their mayor?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I don't have any problem with anybody running. I have no problem with the mayor, the current mayor, whose seat I'm running for. But I'm having no problems with Claudia, no problem with, say the city council that's presently there. But here's the piece you got to know. I'm not just a one-horse pony. I am a guy who's very similar to a beehive of Beyonce, a Swiftie of Taylor Swift, a Michael Jackson or Prince. I'm the crossover candidate. I get along with everybody regardless of your zip code. I'm an HR person in profession. I've been a civil rights person, a justice, equity, and diversity inclusion person. That is what I know and how I've lived. Meeting people where they are, being able to cross over is not an issue for me. I'm a conduit that will energize and inspire even folks who haven't got along with folks in our community to step up and step in because it's the right thing to do.
So you will work. That's good.
Absolutely.
That's
No
what we
problem.
need.
I can't do it alone. Look, you need 4 votes to move the agenda. My aim is like very similar, and I keep it real with you because you understand this. Teddy Pendergrass had a song. He said it was a 50-50 love. But he also said at some point it's sometimes 70-30, 60-40, 80-20. And understanding just because it's 80-20 doesn't mean it's not going to come your way, back your way, 70-30. But you need to always be moving in the direction that it's a 50-50 relationship. Doing all you can do in your community, being all you can be in your community is one thing, but building relationships and partnerships is everything. And that's my role as a city council person, as a mayor, as an activist in the community, as mayor in your city of Richmond.
So you being mayor, how can you help people like this young man right here?
One is to ask him, how may I help you? What aren't you getting that you need?
Well, housing. I mean, rent. I'm looking for a room for rent.
So one of the things is, just as he said, first of all, extend your hand and not looking at him like he is somebody else, but recognize that he is somebody. Respect is the first key. As mayor, it's finding out what resources are needed in this community to expand housing. The grand jury says we need 4,000 houses by 2035. Right now, we've only permitted 9 to 10% right here in this community. That's not enough, and there needs to be urgency about it. It needs a different mindset of not what we can do, but what we should be doing. And being able to not just build affordable housing, but reasonable housing for all income levels and services for those who may need them. Because everybody who's unhoused doesn't lack a skill. You have people that are couch surfing, you have people that are living in their cars to go to work every day. But there's others that need to be re-skilled and be able to put in place. But you need to have jobs for folks to go and make them part of rebuilding so they have pride in what they're doing and where they live.
I'm retired. I worked for the school district for 40 years. I retired, but I got divorced. But the judge said, being married in California, you gotta sell everything. I had my house already before this lady came in, bro. And I had to sell everything. 3 of my cars and my house. And that led me to this. You know, cause she came in with a luggage full of clothes. That's it. And left me like this, you know. And I'm looking for a room to start off with, you know. Build it up again, you know, instead of going back down.
Well, one of the things that the current mayor said, he says, well, you got to ask him where you came from. How'd you get here? That's not important to me. What's important is that he's here now. And as mayor, it's not just my name, my title, or my seat. It's taking care of people that live in my city, whether they're on the streets or your house or apartment. It's my role and my responsibility to look out for folks in my care.
Yes, sir.
All right, baby. What's your name?
Thank
My
you so
name is
much.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand?
Yeah, Ferdinand.
Nice to meet you,
And
man.
when you get a chance, go down to Grip. Remember Grip Back? 22nd
Yeah,
back down. Try the
yeah.
rescue mission.
Okay.
All right.
All right, my
I've been
brother.
to the rescue mission, but I mean, living outside is even better than living over there in the shelter. You know what? Because you got so many rules. They make up rules, man. Rules after rules. I've been there. I'm alumni in there, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, good. Blessings, brother.
All right, man. God bless.
God bless you too, my man.
So yeah, you can't ask people where they came from, why they're here. They are where they are. And what can you do to improve that? We need to expand housing. We have the opportunity to do that. We have a lot of resources. We have property that schools have presently that aren't being used. What is the relationship that we can build with a liaison program, a strong liaison program? There is one that's in place now, but it's not the way it needs to be.
Right.
Hold on. What's that?
Hello,
It's
how you
not
doing?
in place in the way that it needs to be. And so we need to get in front of that actively. I spent time with Mayor Matt Mahan in San Jose and talked about with him what he's trying to do. clearly, they have a lot more resources with technology there and wanting to put funding in, and it works for them. Because if the environment is clean and neat and safe, it provides an opportunity for them to build more.
Hey, good to see
in
y'all,
that
man.
way.
How you been, man? It's good to see y'all.
I ain't crazy.
We already know it.
Y'all have a good day.
Y'all, you too. Y'all have a good day too. All right.
There's an opportunity. You know, if the environment is safe and clean, then they're able to expand their technology and bring
Wow.
jobs.